Hey guys, how's it going? It's Janie over here at ContactJaniesSweets. Welcome back to my channel. In this episode, I'm coming at you with a tutorial for how I made this inside and out rainbow cake. I love how simple it is to make, so if you want to learn how I did this, then keep on watching. I'm working with pre-colored fondant. You can use regular white fondant and color it yourself, which I'm going to show you in a second, but this just makes your life much easier. I do recommend that you either work with gum paste or you use fondant with Tylose powder on it. If you just use fondant by itself, this will take I don't know how long to dry. Like, it'll probably never dry on time. So I suggest you get either fondant with Tylose powder or gum paste. Now I am using a fondant extruder. Those are very simple to use and very self-explanatory. I will link one for you guys below if I find something that's similar to mine, or just any clay extruder really. I did not have orange in the pack of pre-made fondant. So all I'm doing is grabbing my pink fondant and I'm adding some orange to it, just because I wanted it to be a more pastel orange and not a bright colored orange. So that's just a tip for you guys. If you want something to be more pastel, just go with either a pink undertone or a ivory undertone. Anyway, I have cut out or extruded out all of my colors, and I'm just going to use my pizza wheel to cut a straight line. Now I'm using the body of my Tylose powder bottle container to make sure that it stays in like a nice arch for me, but you can use whatever's gonna work. So I'm just using a little bit of water and putting that at the end of each rainbow or each color, and then that's going to help them stick together. Once that is done, this is what you're left with. I have a cloud cookie cutter, and I'm just going to roll out some white fondant and then cut out some clouds. Now I'm using a toothpick. Now this is a little bit tricky. I can't really explain to you what I'm doing. I just am kind of feeling for it to go inside of it. So I'm twisting it so that it goes inside. I don't know how to explain it, but you see what I'm trying to do. Just twist it in and then brace the other side with your other hand so that it doesn't like just come undone. And you want to do this when it's fairly dry, but not so dry that it's going to not be able to like go in. Then I'm going to adhere my cloud right at the bottom and then leave that to dry for a few days. Moving on to the cake. I did dye the cake the colors that I wanted. So I have a turquoise green, I have a purple, a pink, and a yellow. Now I'm just using some white buttercream. My client did not want anything inside of it. It was actually for a little girl who's Tristan's friend, my son's friend. And yeah, so she didn't want anything inside of it except for white buttercream. And I'm just gonna layer it up and then add my buttercream in the middle. Y'all have seen me do this a bajillion times. This is how I ice and crumb cook my cakes. Once I have a smooth enough base, I'm just going to put a parchment paper, flip it upside down, and this is the upside down method of knowing that your cakes are leveled. I will probably do a more in-depth tutorial of how I make the cakes, crumb coat them, stack them, and store them in the fridge. But in the meantime, this is how I do it. Now this is the next day. It was actually the night before the party. I'm just going to go ahead and flip it right side up, remove my board and parchment paper, and then go ahead and ice it smooth. Now it was going to only have a buttercream finish to it, so I had to make sure that the buttercream was thin enough, or not thin enough, thick enough that it wouldn't show any of the cakes on the side. Funny story, I literally almost ran out of buttercream doing this, but we made it, thankfully. Now all I am doing, now this could be neater if you want it to be. It could be as neat as you want it to be. However, I wanted it to have like a more homemade rustic feel, and that's the look that my friend was going for. So all I'm doing is grabbing a little bit of buttercream of each color, placing it on there, and then using my bench scraper to scrape it off and smooth it out. That's it. There's no crazy mathematics that go along with it. Just smooth it out as best as you can, and then good enough is good enough. Now once this little topper was dry, I just kind of eyeballed where I wanted it to go and then placed it right on top. So this is how I made this very simple but very effective rainbow cake. The little girl absolutely loved it. I won't be sharing a picture of that because that's not my kid and I don't want to just post random children on the internet, but she really loved her cake and she loved the rainbow. It was so cool. Now, tips that I have for you guys when you're making this, I would honestly suggest that you at least go with colors that are complementary to each other. In this case, we went with pastels, so we had the pastel pink, yellow, like an aqua bluish color, and purple. I also have a green in the rainbow, but I didn't have enough space on the actual cake to add the green. That's why I left it out. But as you guys can see, these colors all complement each other. You can go with the traditional rainbow colors if you actually wanted to. That'd be nice as well. Or just in like maybe shades, right? Like shades of pinks or shades of purples or shades of blues would be really pretty for that. So I hope you have enjoyed today's video. I hope it was helpful, informative, and you've learned something. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family so that they do not miss out on any of my future videos. You can subscribe to the channel. I post a video here every single week. So I will see you in the next one. Love you. Talk to you next time. Bye.